All right. I hope everybody's doing okay. It's been a while. I've been working on this thing off and on for several days and finally got some time to throw the video together. And what we are up to here is building some rockets. So I went down the rocket rabbit hole a little bit. I initially had the simple goal of making a light featherweight rocket with some tumble recovery, meaning it did not have a streamer or a parachute, and hopefully by integrity of its structure and lightweight, it could go up to its highest point until the rocket motor ran out and fall to Earth without breaking up. The rocket I had in mind was the original, what was it, Estes Mosquito, a tiny little rocket, probably about 12, 15 centimeters high, and it was made out of obviously an old Estes rocket. It was made out of cardboard and balsa wood, so it was featherweight and would just kind of gently tumble to the earth, thus the name Tumble Recovery. And that's what I wanted to do with this little project. However, I sort of got a little sidetracked by thinking I could pull off one of those designs or that style of rocket with one of the more complicated designs. I went a little crazy. I went with that Estes Interceptor, a classic Estes model rocket. Super cool looking. I mean, it could be a display model if it wasn't a flying model rocket, with the decals and all the detail that they went ahead and added into it. So I went ahead and tried to model this for an A size motor, for the smallest A size you could get, and I came up with the engine mount. The engine mount is just kind of a slightly tapering tube, so you can force the A size motor into the engine mount, and it will sit there snugly. It didn't need a clip to hold it in there or anything like that, but it shouldn't anyway, because if you're doing it the right way, it doesn't have the charge that blows out the parachute, because it would just be a tumble recovery and you wouldn't need that. But I think the Mosquito originally did have like a little hole in the side of the tube, so it did have the report that happened, and it would blow out the side of the tube, causing the rocket to arch over real quick and get into a tumbling trajectory or attitude. But I went ahead and built this with the idea that it was just going to be a single model or a one-piece print, and it ended up being the Interceptor here ended up being 30 centimeters tall, and as complicated as I could make it insofar as the detail that I could throw in there in the time allotted, and based off what I was trying to accomplish. And I just didn't want it to run forever. I could have spent a lot more time throwing doodads on there and trying to make it look really cool, but I kind of had to stop myself to actually finish it. It ended up being a little bit heavy, and I did end up having to cut it across the middle at a point which was sort of I don't know if midpoint is the right way, but it was a neutral point where I could get an even bottom and an even top without it having intersected in an odd way with the pieces and parts not lining up, or having to cut off and maneuver the wings or chop up the wings and print them separately. But after I overcame some of those little challenges, the print actually came out pretty simple and straightforward, and I didn't have to fight with it too much, and it worked out nicely, and it actually gave me a good flight. The first time I tried to fly it, it just kind of zigzagged around. I didn't have enough nose or weight in the nose. I did think that might be a problem. I wasn't sure. A quick check of the center of gravity was way off, but I flew it anyway just to see what it would do, and did a bunch of squiggles and landed in a pine tree, shook it down, and I threw some weight on the nose just to see if that would resolve the issue. Very much did, and we can take a look at that flight in a little bit here after we get through the initial build. But we'll end up with a back end, a small back end, and a much larger. It's probably split by a third back and 2/3 front. And they glue together nicely, get a good solid attachment. So it's still, this is, like I said, a very simple print, not the single chunk of plastic that I wanted to get out of the printer, but it'll do for now. And maybe with a little thinking and reworking, I can figure out a way to get it out and as one solid piece. But I did end up throwing some more delicate features in here, which I probably shouldn't for a tumble recovery, like these little antennas coming off the wings. But I was on a roll trying to mimic that original Interceptor, and I figured why not? The worst that could happen is they'll just snap off. If I really wanted to, I could probably design it in such a way that would be reinforced. And here is the split in half. Yeah, maybe that's closer to a quarter. We just get it prepped for the plate. And after we get it out of the printer, we'll give it a test shot, a test flight. And you'll see the report. I still used A motors that had the charge in there for the parachute, and it accelerates the nose headfirst into the ground, even a little faster than gravity. So it held up, didn't break, the nose didn't bend. So that's a testament to a solid print of that plastic. Just the simple pieces. Just pull that baby off there, and it had all this, not spaghetti, but this fine gossamer cotton that came off of it. Was kind of strange. Been getting a lot of that lately. I don't know if it's particularly, it's particular to the type of PLA I'm using for that. The brand name, the temperature and the humidity and whatnot. But we are getting close to the launch in 3, 2, 1. Look out! Nice. All right. After that, I couldn't stop myself. I kept going, and we are moving into another iconic Estes model, the Mars Lander. I figured this one would be a little simpler, straightforward, even than the Interceptor. I don't know why I thought that. I got a little crazy with the detail again, but I figured it would be smaller. It wouldn't be as tall as the Interceptor was, and I could throw it in the printer and just allow the slicer to automatically generate the support structure, and it would print beautifully. But that wasn't the case. The support structure was sticking to the build plate, however the model was not sticking to the support structure, and I started messing with that a million different ways, adjusting the model contact to the support structure. Just no luck at all. So I still think if I mess with it some more, I might be able to pull that off. I just have to think on it a bit and consider what is happening there a little tighter. But I did end up just cutting it up and making several pieces out of it, which, like I said, was kind of defeated the goal, or defeated the purpose of what I was trying to accomplish here. But it ends up being a fairly decent model. It was fun to make, and it looks pretty cool when it was all said and done. I went ahead and after I got it printing successfully out of the printer, went ahead and made it look like the original, using the white body and the red landing legs to just kind of approximate the aesthetics of the original. And I could revisit this and add the detail that was on the original, and probably amp it up a little bit with multicolor print, giving some black lines in between the panels and whatnot. Adding those radar dishes you can see on the side of it, my reference image. And I was once again trying to make it one solid chunk of plastic to come out of the printer. That did not work out so good. I ended up, and I leave it out here, but I ended up having to spend twice the effort, maybe three times the effort that I made this original structure with, this original 3D model with, in breaking it up and re positioning it for the 3D printer, because I had put the detail on the struts with that little shock absorber system that it had. It was all faux. It didn't work in this, but it was there for detail in the name of detail. I had to eliminate all that, and so for these holes going forward, I could add a little notch and a tab, so you would have a situation where you could just insert tab A into slot B, so to speak, and you get a solider attachment for the landing feet and the landing legs. Even still, as it is, you can see that piece right there. That was one of the, in the background, the structure of the support almost created an armor cladding over the landing leg. I was trying to print it with the detail in place for the landing gear and that shock absorber system. I just gave up on it. That's when I finally decided to give up on it and just recreate the model for a simpler print and made a flat situation with those landing legs. And it worked out fairly good in the end. We're just going to throw that together. I didn't even use, it doesn't look like it would be that sturdy, but it held together pretty solid. And this body part, this body was in two halves. I was not quite sure how to pull that off and keep the innards as I needed it. There's a compartment in there for the for a weight, so I put two half-inch nuts in there from a bolt and a nut kind of nut, and so they're rattling around up in the like a little nose compartment, but it worked out nice. It gave me a good center of gravity, and the thing flies pretty good. It's pretty heavy. I would say it's probably close to, God, if I had to guess, 7, 8 ounces. Um, but it you'll see in the flight coming up here soon. It's pretty stable. And here we go. Okay, I think that's it. So if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate your time. And if you want to come back, we'll be doing more of the same. See you later.